A gangster was sitting on the rooftop, planning to jump off the building. A negotiator hurried over, wanting to persuade him. Unexpectedly, the gangster invited the negotiator to sit down beside him. Later, the negotiator asked what he could do to help the gangster, but the gangster suddenly took out a coin. He said he would give up jumping off the building only if the negotiator could guess the correct side of the coin. For the first time, the negotiator guessed the coin would land on heads, but when the gangster opened his hand, the negotiator found he had guessed wrong. At that moment, the negotiator still wanted to first persuade the gangster to go down the building and play the game slowly later, but the gangster told the negotiator to talk about it only after he guessed correctly. However, the negotiator guessed wrong again this time. The gangster asked curiously why he guessed heads every time, but the negotiator said that no matter what he guessed, there was a 50% chance of being right. It was obvious that the negotiator still guessed wrong again. By this time, the negotiator's superior had arrived at the scene. The superior noticed that the man, negotiator, had guessed more than 30 times, but he had guessed wrong every single time. He realized that the gangster must have been cheating in the game. So the negotiator picked up the coin and flipped it himself, but he still guessed wrong this time. The gangster standing aside kept provoking him to stir up his emotions. Besides, the man, negotiator, remembered that day was the deadline for him to repay his debt, but he had no money at all and could not repay it. Seeing that the man's mood was not right, the superior worried that he might jump off the rooftop, so he decided to flip the coin himself and let the man guess. This time, the man still guessed heads. As soon as the man finished speaking, the superior immediately said he had guessed correctly, but the gangster saw at a glance that the superior was lying. At that moment, the man jumped off without hesitation. Fortunately, the superior pulled him back in time at the critical moment. At the same time, the gangster pulled out a smoke grenade. He jumped off the rooftop without any hesitation. Luckily, the air cushion below caught him successfully, but when the rescuers went forward to check, they found that the gangster had disappeared without a trace. When the superior rushed down, he only saw the smoke from the smoke grenade all around, but the superior still figured out the gangster's intention. So he got in his car and found the gangster soon. While the superior was taking the gangster to the police station, the superior suddenly proposed to play a game with the gangster. He would win if he successfully sent the gangster to the police station, but the gangster laughed when he heard this. He also mocked, saying that the superior would win only if he could take him to the end of the street, because the gangster thought going to the police station was too far and had no challenge for him. The man, negotiator, stared at the gangster tightly all the way, but when the car was about to reach the end of the street, the gangster suddenly took out a sparkler and threw it in the car. The superior had no choice but to stop the car quickly, but when he got out of the car to check, he found that the gangster had disappeared. Finally, he found a handkerchief and a feather on the car seat. So do you know how the gangster escaped in the end?